Hi, everybody. I'm Suzanne Castle. This is Training Tuesday on a holiday week, right? And people are already scattered on the roads doing all the things. I don't know about you, but I have been shopping a little bit, and the lines are just so excruciatingly long. And I'm watching meltdowns happen. The other day at the store I was at, I was like number 37 in line, 37. And all these people had big full carts. This wasn't a grocery store, and there were moms with presents piled up high, and kids like pulling on their moms, and buy me this, buy me that, and just and you can just see everybody's stress level really rise up. And I want to talk about that today. I want to talk about holiday stressors, but first, where are you watching from? Let me know in the comments below. I routinely grab a little comment here and there and sometimes throw a goodie your way. So let me know whether you're watching live or on replay and where you're watching from. And thank you so much for taking a moment out of your holiday week to spend some time. Let's talk a little bit about holiday stressors. Right. I think it happens to all of us. We have those expectations of social events, right? We have gift shopping. We have entertaining guests. And this year, I think there's even this kind of need, since we've been in lockdown for so long, to like get social with people, right? Whether you're still facilitating it online or in person. And the holiday season is actually the absolute perfect time, the wonderful opportunity we have to spend time with family and friends, maybe take a little bit of time for ourselves or off work. Maybe some of you are even escaping for a winter getaway. That's great. But for all of the joy and the fun, so comes the stress, right? So I was jotting down. I mean, I know in a couple of hours we're leaving to go visit my family for Thanksgiving. And I was thinking about what are some better ways to handle the holiday stress. We all have it. It all happens. All those expectations, it just rise. And even for me, somebody like me, I'm super festive. I love parties. I love to go, right? It can even become too much for me. So I know it is for other people too. So I was reading this article from the American Psychological Association that said 8 out of 10 people expect to experience stress over this season. 8 out of 10. And it might even be higher than that because, again, pandemic has made everything really hard and really weird. So I jotted down a few quick tips on how to handle holiday stress, and I want to share those with you today as we're all kind of turning our gaze towards what it's going to look like in these next 6 or 8 weeks, depending on how long you and your family celebrate. So the first one that I'd like to share with you to keep us kind of off the anxious train, out of depression island, is that, depression is frequently an unwelcome guest over the holidays. But the truth is that, I saw a meme the other day that said grief and gratitude don't exist separately. You can still have a lot of gratitude and joy and be surrounded by people and still feel down and anxious and depressed and have panic attacks, right? But it doesn't have to just be all lost, right? There are things that we can consciously do here and with how we set up our schedules and our actions that minimize our stress and our anxiety. And the first one's on the screen, which is to set a budget. Okay, it's not fun. I know you want to buy all the things. I know as things are more expensive this year, and you're trying to fill needs, and parents have guilt and friends have guilt, but I want shopping to be fun, and shopping isn't fun if you're constantly stressed about how you're going to pay for things, right? And spending money isn't always easy. And Americans spend over $1,000 every holiday season on gifts alone. That's not all the food or decorating or gas or anything, just $1,000. And for some of us, it's even more depending on the size of our family and friend list. And while it might not be unavoidable for you to do those things, I do think we can minimize the damage by setting a budget and sticking to it. Maybe this is the year that you put it out and say, hey, everyone, I saw something go around like, I want Christmas cards with recipes, your favorite recipe. Isn't that great? And compile them into a book. Maybe this is the year that you say, okay, everybody, we're spending $25 or less, and let's get super creative. And then it becomes a gamification over what you're doing, and it kind of can take some stress out of it. A lot of the stress I think that we do experience during the holidays is due to financial pressures. Let's face it, those never go away, and then they ramp up during the holiday seasons. And the Mayo Clinic suggested that setting a budget is beneficial to your stress level. So even if your budget's high, and even if you have a lot that you can share on however it is, great. But I still think setting a budget is important. So work out how much you can afford to spend on food, on gifts, and then stick to it. Get creative. As you hear me say all the time, when we tell our brain what to do, our brain will rise to the occasion. So if you're telling the brain we have to be creative about this because I'm not spending this year, I bet you begin to find ways to make that happen. Earlier today, I was at an appointment, and the person that was with me was sharing just kind of the stress of Thanksgiving and what it's going to look like. She has to go to 2 different Thanksgivings for families, etc., and how she's supposed to bring mashed potatoes to one, and she just doesn't know how she can get home and get it made and make sure the house is clean. And I was like, I did Thanksgiving forever at the Cowboy games. We're not this year, but at the Dallas Cowboy game, and I made mashed potatoes in a crock pot, and it was super easy, and they were terrifically yummy. Blew her mind. She's like, oh my gosh. I'm like, yeah, just go Google mashed potatoes in the crock pot. So easy. So, like I said, tell your brain what to do, then start figuring out a way to make it happen. I promise you will be better off for it. The next suggestion that comes is around exercise. You hear me talk a lot about getting moving, getting oxygen flowing, that it doesn't always just help your heart, right, or your calories, but it does help this. And this is the key to all the other things, right? The American Heart Association, they want us to stay active all the time, but it's extremely important to keep it up during the holidays when it's cold, or we've got fireplaces, or we're watching all the movies and we're eating all the yucky foods and we just want to sit and we just want to sit and we just want to sit. But any activity or exercise that you can fit in will help you reduce your stress level. Like, don't worry about your calories and all of that. That is so important. But stress will kill you. So if you can get moving in some way, like go throw the football or go take a quick walk or go rake leaves, whatever it is, you will also find your stress goes down and your mood elevates. It's a quick and easy way because it's going to stimulate the endorphin production, which then triggers a positive feeling in your body. And I get it, we are all so busy. But if you can find time to exercise for half an hour at least 3 times a week, I promise you're going to feel better. So walk or jog. If you live somewhere where it's beautiful, go swimming or swim inside. Go biking as a family. Play sports. Find time for aerobics. Like, I really want to go back to a roller rink. I love roller skating, right? I'm a 4-wheel roller skater. I don't really like inline skating, but there are so many ways. So find something that's joyful about it and put it in your schedule and make it happen every day. And how much better if you can get your family involved too. Now it's a family activity. You're off the screens. You're outside enjoying it in the best way that you can. Another quick suggestion, honestly, is just to take it easy. And I know this sounds trite, so hear me out when I say this. The American Psychological Association reminds us that we need to take time for ourselves. I get it. You're like, the only time I have for myself is in the bathroom, Suzanne. Okay, but just hear me out. There are parties and there are gatherings and there are all the things that you feel compelled to go to. And there are people everywhere and there is still a pandemic happening. And there's just, and it is so great to be with the ones that we love and laugh about the old days. And you shouldn't miss all those great times. But what you should be careful of is setting an unrealistic expectation of yourself and how your family can be. If you just can't do everything. And in a year where we're expecting like parties to kind of go up a little bit, it's almost like what happened in the 20s, right? Like this after the war and all these parties and everything was great again and there was all this jolly, okay? You can't do everything. And it is okay to take time out for yourself, even if it's just 15 minutes. And it is perfectly acceptable to say, hey, we're just not going to be able to make that this year. If you do a whole lot of hosting, also be sure you delegate, get people involved, whether you can ask everyone to bring a different dish. And then maybe if you have 10 couples coming, everybody brings that dish and 10 recipe cards with that dish. Wow, suddenly you've taken care of the gift exchange and you've helped people. Everybody likes to bring something. They want to be helpful. Rope family in on certain tasks. Minimize how you're doing it. I know we spend a whole lot of time making sure our house is super clean for parties, but then 5 minutes in, everything is gross. So just, I'm not saying don't have it be clean, but just manage what you can do. Okay. And I think that you're going to feel a lot better. I know I do when I do those kinds of things. And then I want you to stay smart during the holidays. Stay smart. The holiday season is a time of indulgence, but as the Mayo Clinic directs, it doesn't mean that you should abandon your healthy ways. There's no need for, it's a free-for-all for the next 6 weeks and I don't care and then I'll start over again. Because when you start over again, now you're even more stressed than you were before. So figure out what it looks like for you. Enjoy yourself, but try to have maybe a healthy snack before holiday gatherings so you don't over snack while you're out. I'm not saying don't snack. I'm just saying don't over snack, right? Make sure you're getting plenty of sleep because sleep will help you lose weight. It helps your mood. It helps you not bite off people's heads. As you're more likely to indulge, by the way, and overindulge when you've had a poor night's sleep. Your body's just like, give me the things, they're not functioning. So you're like, ooh, sugar, ooh, carbs, ooh, alcohol. So make sure that sleep is a priority for you. And that is one way to stay smart during the holidays. The final thing that I want to say to you is one that we've been hearing a lot about it everywhere we go, and that is to choose your battles. So what do I mean by that? We all have someone in our circle that rubs us the wrong way. Can I get an amen? Can I get a hand raised? Like, is that you? Let me know below. It's only natural, right? People are messy and they bring their mess out when it's stressful, and holidays are just stressful. Not everyone can or will always get along. Allowing someone else to get under your skin, though, it's only going to ruin your holiday and increase your stress levels. So learn to pick your battles. Don't take the bait. One suggestion is if you have a real problem with someone and you know what's going on and they're just niggling, even if they haven't come and tell you, maybe you hear me talk about vampires of no accountability, I call them Vonas, and they're creating and swirling a mess around you, but they won't ever come to you. And you know that is going on. Maybe set it aside during the holidays and save it for another day. Or before it gets out of hand, just have a conversation. Say, I get it. You're not happy, or I'm driving you crazy, and we need to talk about it, but I want us to move forward right now, and let's set a time on such and such a day to make that happen. Even the calmest people will lose their cool during the holidays. When they're under financial stress, they lose their cool. People take one thing and blow it up, and then it becomes about everything, okay? But you're the one that can choose the battle and choose how you show up in that space. And sometimes showing up in that space is to walk away from the space. So it could be like, you know what? I don't want to fight, so I'm going to go take a walk and let things calm down. The bottom line is that self-care is a conscious choice. I'm going to repeat that for those of you in the back. Self-care is a conscious choice. And it's even more true during times of more stress, like this holiday season that's upon us. So I want you to make sure that you're taking the time to create a deliberate plan, that you're sticking to your plan. If you're like me, you have to literally put it in your schedule or tell your phone to remind you, because other things will seem more urgent than that in that moment. Remember, the holidays are supposed to be a time of fun, of family, of food, of relaxation. And I don't want stress to interfere with this great time of year for you, so that you can show up when 2022 shows up for us with this great, lifted, calm, amazing self about you. All right, that's what I have for you on this Holiday Training Tuesday episode. If you need any suggestions, I have a ton of self-care tips and tricks, and I'd love to just send them to you. If you comment below, I'll just shoot you over the PDF. Let's figure out how you want it, where you want it. You want it in Facebook? Do you want it in an email? What is it? And because we're all in this together, and we all have to help each other live at a different level, okay? I'm grateful for you. Thank you for being here. Man, I didn't even check the comments. Oh my gosh. Yes, Lori. Unrealistic expectations all day long, right? People are definitely messy. Yeah, and self-care doesn't just happen as me, I know, right? Yeah. Self-care becomes a priority when suddenly you're in the hospital. And so let's not get to that. Let's do something different. So anyway, from me to you, happy Thanksgiving. If you're in the United States, happy gratitude this week. If you're not, find a way to be grateful this week. And thank you for being here with me. Wishing you only goodness. I'll see you next week. Bye.